Hi peeps, it's Terse back in old squat box once again, and I'm here again speaking about religion. Not just, pardon me, not just religion, but no, atheists as well. People, humans, us apes, us almost bald apes. I'm not exactly a bald ape, as you can fucking see, right? So we're not exactly bald apes, but I've never seen a gorilla or a chimpanzee or an orangutan with a beard as long as mine. Never. Never been seen, never been filmed, and never. Why? Why do we have so much less hair on our bodies in lots of places that other apes have, and yet we tend, as we get older, maybe not a lot, but we tend to grow huge lumps, clumps of hair just in certain places. That's a weird fucking piece of shit. And there's not a religious book in the world that says anything about it. They may say you shouldn't cut your hair, but they don't tell you why our hair goes long enough to need to cut in the first place. I mean, there's not an ape in the planet who's mastered making scissors and trimming their fucking hair, and yet their hair doesn't grow longer than what they need. Whereas we have huge amounts of our body with no hair on it, so that when we get wet and cold, we shiver and die. And we grow huge lumps of fucking hair and pieces of our face, and for some people, pieces of, other pieces of our body, where we don't need it, you know what I mean? Well, not as much of it as we've got, And then you get this idea as well. People having a really strong belief, idea, thought about a thing, and willing to use violence to propagate it and destroy those who would speak differently from us, Catholics against Protestants, Christians against Muslims, Christians and Muslims against everybody else. Mormons against everybody else, and Scientology against everybody else. It's like, and then people think, atheists are against all religion. We just don't believe what you're thinking makes sense. But I don't really. When you see two boxers get in the ring, like the Commonwealth Games are going on in Glasgow, 2014 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. It's got about 5 days to go, 4 days to go, and when you see those two boxers from England and Malaysia or Scotland and Canada going in there and boxing each other, it's not Christians against atheists. It's not Muslims against fucking Mormons. It's two boxers from two countries fighting, and nobody cares what their religion is. It's about two boxers using their boxing skills to compete against each other to see who's the best boxer. That is more pure than any religious argument you could ever produce or put up on a fucking video on YouTube, because all religious arguments make no fucking sense. But when you're competing in a sport, that makes total sense, and nobody's interested in whether you're a Catholic, a Protestant, a Mormon, a Muslim, a Jehovah's Witness, an atheist. Nobody cares. What they care about is your boxing skills. You're there competing in a sport, and nobody cares about that. And to be honest with you, a lot of people like myself, in certain sports, I'm not bothered about the country. I mean, it's a Commonwealth Games. Scotland's fighting for gold medals and silvers and bronze medals and like that. But even if Scotland's not in, a certain swimming competition or a cycling competition, or I'm still rooting for somebody in that challenge of a bunch of humans against each other in a sport they've trained their hardest at for years. I want to see the best win, and I don't think there's any chance you can turn around and say, well, my God favours this guy, so he's definitely going to win, because you know that doesn't work. You know what I mean? You know that's a whole load of fucking shit. And yet you see footballers, the World Cups, it was the Football World Cup just went by in Rio de Janeiro, you know what I mean? And you've seen people, they go on the pitch and they touch the turf and they do all that and cross themselves and all that shit, and it's like, their God's not helping them. It may make them feel better because they're religious. They want to think that God is helping them to score a goal. But then you get somebody scoring a goal and they don't cross themselves, and I'm thinking, yeah, he comes from a religious country, you know what I mean? But he didn't do all that shit, he just went, and then ran about going, yeah, give me it, that's secular. You did your job. You trained for fucking the last fucking 4 years, you fought with your team to beat every other team to get there to the World Cup, and then you scored a goal, and it's like, yes, I'm a top scoring goal scorer in a World Cup against the best country in the world. And you're not thinking that team, I beat a Protestant, I beat a Muslim, or I beat a Catholic. You're like, I beat that team, I beat Germany, and it's not even about beating Germany, it's the team, I beat that, I beat him, I got rid of that individual defender who was trying, I got rid of him and I beat the goalkeeper, you know what I mean, and I scored the goal, and it's like, that's what you're thinking as an atheist football player when I was a teenager, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about, well, he's a Catholic goalkeeper and a Protestant defender and I beat the Protestant, I beat the Catholic, and yeah, atheism wins. No, it's me. I won. I trained fucking hard. And I didn't ask any gods or any atheist fucking talisman to help me. I did it through my own fucking hard work and fucking, my own ethic of fucking running and training and to get there, you know what I mean? And that's what most of life is, man. It's stuff you do yourself. You might sort of like, gee yourself up by thinking your favourite, fake moon cake maker is like, supporting you. And you go and eat that special mooncake after you win. But I mean, most people, when in the endeavour of sport, you're competing against other human beings. You're not competing against deities. You're not competing against religious doctrines. You're not competing against, governmental or political factions. You beat him because you were a better sportsman at the sport you're playing, and the only way to get there is to work fucking hard at that sport. You could say, I'm not coming to train, I'm just going to go to church and pray every day that God gives me the strength to win, and you're going to get beat the fuck up, you know what I mean? You're going to lose, you know what I mean? The only way to win at a sport is to go and do the sport over and over and over and over and over again until you become good at it. And there's no room there for God or political parties, conservatives and liberals and communists. That doesn't make you a better fucking football player depending on your political party, and it doesn't make you a better football player depending on your religious belief. It's strictly down to how fucking hard you work at it and how able you are, how fit and able you are to fucking, have that training make you fitter and better at what you do. I just wish we could take the ethic that we see in sport and kind of add that a little bit more into our society as a whole. Knowing that being a certain political persuasion or a certain religious persuasion doesn't make you better at what you do. It just doesn't. It may give you access, because we all know you get that, well, if you're a Protestant, a Catholic business isn't going to employ you. If you're Protestant, if you're Catholic and a Protestant, organisation isn't going to, employ you, unless you've got really super fucking skills that they just can't get anywhere else. Then they might say, well, do you know what? You might be a bloody Protestant, but no, we'll sign them on for this Catholic team. Or you get Muslims, they hate the Muslims hate people who don't believe in Allah, and yet most of the when they first started building their cities and their power plants and all that shit, they employed people from all over the world, of all different nationalities, of all different religions, including atheists, to come there and build their infrastructure, in Saudi Arabia and Dubai, they didn't care so long as they built their shit. And then they turned around and said it's a Muslim, the tallest tower, in the world at one time, it's like, and it was built by Muslims, No, it was built in a Muslim country, but it was probably built mostly by Catholics, Protestants, and fucking, Mormons, Jews, everybody was involved, And it's like, but, now it's the tallest Muslim empire, state building, or whatever, Muslim tower in the world, And it's like, it's not a Muslim tower, it's humanity that built mankind. The intelligence of mankind built the tallest fucking building in the world. Not a religion. Not a fucking political system. It was people. Human beings with brains who thought about building the tower rather than running off and praying to some fucking god. You know what I mean? I'm sure some people prayed to God while they were building it, the manual labourers, we're going to give them 5 minutes every now and then in England for a cup of tea and a biscuit, and then in Saudi Arabia we've got to give them 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day to fucking pray to Mecca, and so did that actually make the building go up any faster? Probably not. The tea probably helped more than the praying, I would think, because it's refreshment. Taking time off to bang your head off the floor, or taking time off to go to a priest or a pastor and swear your allegiance to some mystical, invisible man in the sky, looking at a cross or a crucifix, or by the way, crosses and crucifixes are completely different. Crucifixes have the figure of Jesus on it. That's a Catholic, Cross, that's a Protestant. But it's still worshipping a fucking idol. Which, by the way, in the Ten Commandments, every Christian religion says in Ten Commandments, and one of the Ten Commandments is do not worship fucking false idols. You know what I mean? And yet, every Christian religion has false fucking idols. You know what I mean? Idolaters. God's going to send them all to hell. Go to hell, boy. Anyway, I think I've talked enough. I've been through it, but I've talked enough. Done. No, not a video done. It's on your fucking bar, motherfucker.